There's more space now for conversations that are not going to move us forward. Because fighting someone who's homosexual in the mountains is not going to necessarily make you heal faster.
Stand strong, stay ten.
But should that be the case even when brother else? Why should there be a need for me to explain to you why I chose to be like this? Because who asked abantu that are heterosexual? Why are you interested in females rather than males? You understand? Why should that even be the case? You understand? Because I remember I grew up with, I think I was homophobic. And I'm saying I think because it goes back to good, it was normal to feel that way. There was someone that's different from you guys to be treated as such because they want to be treated as such. That was the assumption at the time. So that is why I didn't think I was homophobic. But now that the cool, I realized, actually I was. Because Ulukolo, we had a guy, we called him Muskova and all that clash.
Yeah, name dropping.
Yeah, yo, bro. Muskova. So even if brothers are Muskova, is in the they didn't have a problem with us treating Uskova because they wanted that, because they're like, we all male. I think there were about 4 males. And then there's this nigga now that doesn't want to be the male. And as a result, we fight every day in Uskova. And there's I would one is on Pavel, like sex, and we so baby check, baby check guy. Because I was a bit short and going to yeah.
Oh, you were Matala.
Yeah. I used to love fighting. So, and I think, again, we didn't say anything wrong, Gloria. Because of what we expected as society. I think, it's because we are not prepared for, or maybe Zangas is born before, and then they knew Guti, and now we don't know how to respond to such things. But I think as it this becomes a norm. And then you realize, actually these are people just like us, and this is just a sexual preference, and it has nothing to do with who they are as people.
I got you.
I don't know, speaking Janma, conversation.
I think also it's a conditioning thing, bro, if you think about it. Because especially when it comes to, actually, more or less, majority of things that we know, it's by condition. We are conditioned to think this way. We are conditioned to see things this way. Like, for instance, now there is a rise of people are saying foreigners must live. Illegal foreigners must live. So also with that, you pick and choose where you want to be situated, or which people are you going with? Going with the people that are saying these people must go? Are you going with the people that are saying no, this is wrong? Because now people are dying and people are being violated. Because of recent there was a story, a Kailich of a boy that apparently I think he's Swati or Tswana. I'm not sure, but he's not Xhosa. But I think he grew up in Kailich. So they got into this house of this guy, 3 a.m., barob. So this guy managed to chase this boy, and I think he stabbed him. So
while he was breaking in?
Yeah. Okay. And then the friend was underneath a bed,
hiding in my house.
Hiding in your house. Yeah. So where I'm going with this, then the mother, when she's interviewed, she's like, no, it was because of much and much. They thought he's a foreigner. Damn. And I'm like, so if you are pushing that narrative, then it goes back to conditioning. If now you are pushing that narrative, you are making people that are also not sure where to go to be like, actually, this thing, it's getting to the point of what happened when there was looting as well. Now it's getting to that point where now, if we're supposed to, or we're in a space where we're fighting for the right thing, but now we are treated as people that are inciting violence, that are breaking law, that are doing all of these things, because also the president is folding his hands. So like conditioning plays a huge role in how people like treat situations, especially with negative situations.
Can I echo your sentiments on that one? I'm gonna move away from the first conversation we were having. On the conversation of conditioning. So I was at my aunt's house yesterday.
Yeah.
And my aunt is like Nesrok, so she sells alcohol. And a lot of foreigners like go there. That's where foreigners drink. Like a lot of them.
Yeah.
You can be 5 Xhosa guys, the 20 other people are foreign guys. And so the joke goes around in the space, no? Like Mabahambe. And so they also play like, nah, we're not going anywhere. And then someone, like a closer guy, made that joke again to someone like now personally because they were fighting. And so he told the guy back, okay, you're gonna go here. And it was like, when am I gonna go? He was like, now. So it became a heated thing. And so now all of the other guys started standing up saying like his friends, the Zim guy, they started saying, who's gonna fuck your sisters if we're gonna go? And he was like, too much money.
Damn.
Where are we gonna go?
Yeah.
And personally, I want to say I'm Pan-Africanist, you know? But the conditioning of that moment for me, I was like, maybe they are right. Personally, I would love to sit down and have the conversation because the immigrants in this country, it's a very long process. Like the interaction between these sovereign countries is long and very complicated. So again, it's another conversation I'd rather not dive deep into. But at that moment, it was like, it's like so. So I was just let me just echo that again. Like the conditioning of the spaces, like so the spaces we continuously expose ourselves into, they will plant that seed even in me. Even I might be neutral, but they start planting. And then the conversation in the taxi, the conversation in the train, and sometimes like me, like sitting on the fence now, which is something I don't want to be. Sometimes I let those things slide, and that conversation, even though the other people who didn't want that seed to be planted in them, in that taxi, because I kept quiet and I had something to say, that seed is going to grow in other people as well, who might not go out and try and unlearn that again, because that's not the reality of all, that's not the thinking of all foreigners, if I can put it that way.
Okay, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to go back to that initial conversation. Because I think it's really aligned to the platform.
Yeah, and the conditioning.
Yeah, even what you guys are talking about right now of homosexuality, sexuality, and also being umkweta. Also in that space where masculinity and this is in the play like quite a huge role. They are very overt. They are very out there. So I wanted to ask who else, because who else mentioned something about us accepting the homosexual people when we are now evacuating, right? And there seems to be a very strong reservation when we are outside in the society. So I just want to who dictates these conditions, or what are the factors contributing to these conditions? Because my relationship with another homosexual guy is quite different. But when we were where there's predominantly a lot of men, there was now this acceptance. That sort of shifted. And you guys are speaking about conditioning. So what are the grounds here? What are the factors that are mostly responsible for contributing
towards the conditioning?
Because this also speaks to the way we relate to women, the way we relate to ourselves as men. Because also when we were evacuating, there wasn't so much violence. Rather than when we are in a society. But when we were there was so much unity. So what changed? Because these are still the same people.
Yes. I think
different environment.
Yes, I think when but I think one, it's the setting, njengoba brother else, that allows as a conditioning, right? And I think also, if we are kumbula, our interests are aligned, like we had a common goal. And I think our focal point was only the goal that you want to achieve up. It had nothing to do with how you're living your life and whatever you're thinking about your own life. That didn't matter at the time. We all had one common goal. That's why even out of that setting, where amadoda ehleli eodwa somewhere, the only factors on the cabin is because they drank. But within Elaktesha, before they get drunk, everyone was in one accord. And no one really cares whether you're gay or not. Do you know what we're speaking about? Do you understand our language? Can we understand one another? Because of that, I think then it becomes different. But now, whenever we mixed with other people, this way we realize, we don't share a common goal. You're living your life, I'm living my life. And now we under impression who's supposed to be living how? What's the right way to be doing whatever we're doing? And Gapa, it had no other condition. There's only one way of doing it. And everyone's expecting this. But the moment you step out and, be on the broader society and be yourself, allow yourself to be yourself, then it becomes a problem, because then we thinking there should be a certain way of behaving or living as people.
I'm gonna take it to the death of the family structure.
Damn, cool.
That's where I'm gonna take it, and I love that you've mentioned that we don't necessarily have a focus. I'm gonna try and dissect it like this. Most of these challenges are persistent in urban spaces, persistent in the city, persistent in the township. Who is in the township? Someone usually maybe from the Eastern Cape, from KwaZulu-Natal to the city, looking for opportunities. So my neighbor is, I don't necessarily know my neighbor. So there's nothing for me to protect within the community. Just gonna ask a question first. When was the last time you attended a community meeting?
Community?
Community meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. The question is rather.
No, don't worry.
Oh, we're heading there.
Yeah, I'm going there. I'm getting there.
We
Yeah.
are podcasting.
Yeah,
But we're heading there.
Yeah,
we're heading there. Now he's like
I'm trying to break it
trying
down.
to break it down.
Yeah.
You guys don't know what I'm gonna ask though.
Okay. So
You don't know what he's going to say, though.
Let me ask my question too.
Oh, wait.
Right.
Okay,
Ask your question. Wait,
let's
let
give
him
him a chance.
explain.
Let's give him a chance.
Yeah, but I've money chance enough to build the structure sack. Yeah, bo? And then maybe you might get your answer from that answer. Yeah, bo? So wait.
Else,
Wait.
can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, my man.
My question was gonna be adding to your question, ne?
Okay.
Because they are.
Don't add too many layers, because I'm a visionary thinker. Yeah.
The simple question was just that maybe when was the last time we attended one?
Yeah.
Because they are community meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So there's no community structure. We don't have nothing to protect, because the community is made up of individuals who are looking for opportunities, who are going to, some of them go back and support back in the Eastern Cape. So some of the things we are fighting in the community are very unnecessary. Because as a community we have no real focus, we have nothing to protect. The future of our children, the future of our women, the future of our infrastructure, like that conversation is dead in the first place. So now that allows for, I'm gonna call them lobbyists sometimes, people who are looking opportunities, who are looking to build their careers, I would say in politics, in the NGO spaces, by amplifying the problems or the ills that are within communities. So, because we have nothing to protect as a community, because we have nothing to protect or nothing to bring us together as a community, any challenges that are not necessarily important within our discourse as a community are going to be, that violence is gonna keep on being persistent, because again, there's nothing to focus on. Where was I going with this? The conditioning. So Oh, I lost my train of
Okay,
thought. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah,
I lost my train of thought.
But
yes.
I get the sense of you going to the conditioning part, because Steve initially was asking us. So in that setting of us accepting why then when we come back to the society and not live the same way that we were living there?
What influences that?
So in the mountain, there's no fighting, there's no discrimination, because we have that one vision. That community is so dispersed, so it's easy for us to fight because there's that dispersion. There's nothing for us to focus on, and that's a goal that we want to build on and say we have succeeded on this goal. So there's more space now for conversations that are not going to move us forward. Because fighting someone who's homosexual in the mountains is not going to necessarily make you heal faster.
Exactly.
Well, so that's not why we're here. So same thing in the community. We don't have that. Why are we here in the community?
I want to take us in.
Bro. Just a bit, Jay. I think also, if we have, because also looking at us creating the podcast, there is a friend of mine that was saying, I think I've done enough creative work in this stream of art, and now I feel like there's nothing I can do more. And I was sitting there and thinking that if this guy can find a purpose of finding another thing, then that drive is going to come back again. So also talking about what you just answered now, if as a community, when we come back, we have things to do, then our energies are going to be channeled in those things. And now we're going to strip down the idea of us having to focus on this one thing. But other than that, sino El Nino namhlanje. Sino El Nino namhlanje.
2.0.
A never disclosed, rather, member of a 3-month Cup. He's the 5th member of a 3-month Cup. He shares the name with the other member, Eletu.
My man.
Brother Els.
Good, sir.
It's an honor, bro. We've been having these conversations in the corners of Heroes, in the corners of Ikasi. And I just wanna give you the platform as well to share your how you go about and what is it that you do, and also just give us maybe a lowdown on what made you to honor the invite as well.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Inner Gent podcast. What a beautiful name. First of all, let me just say that. I think, why did I honor this invite today? I don't usually do anything on Sundays.
They're honest for me.
No, I'm joking. I love gardening, green fingers, but I don't do it as much as I would love to. And also I wanted to see, how do I look on camera, Yeah, man, I remember you guys were talking about this, the name. I remember you were next to, we just attended the book launch for this Country Hates Our Boys. And the conversation had started prior that, and you guys were just like, okay, I'm interested. I know Damsena did send me the brief of what you guys wanted to do. I was like, I'm gonna read it, my man, I'm gonna read it. But I never got to it. And beautifully, the energies between you guys were able to align and we were able to create this space. So today, I think I'm also excited and I'm honored that I was invited into this space, because I feel like also I have something to contribute. And life has been very isolated for me in this past few months, few years. And I think I'm honoring this today so that I can respect my voice, respect my experience, that it matters. Maybe it can mean something to someone. So I'm here to rekindle my own inner chant as well. Because, because you like coming out and trusting my own voice is very difficult. Trusting that I can say something that is of substance without editing myself too much. So I'm here to have this conversation and allow myself to make those mistakes and learn from my own mistakes and stop correcting myself too much and being on the fence. So
Yeah, brother Els, ladies and gentlemen.
My man, that was a clean dab there.
Yeah, man. So today I was on my way to Ekukuletu and I catch a taxi and I'm chilling with the driver. We're having a small conversation and it so happened that before we stop and then someone crosses and you always know okay, when ichere dlula amashita they're gonna turn their heads. So driver had a comment like yo yambona yabo yo ndingamenzani those type of comments and interesting enough on our last episode Umsiyana was talking about us having to not to call out bullshit when it happens. Us allowing our friends to, what was the word he used? Like allowing our friends to just like have a free flow in any, we call out bullshit basically. Yeah, but especially when it comes to issues that are really affecting us on how we are seen in society. Because if ever I'm able to comment or have those comments about someone and I'm sitting with someone, it says a lot about this person and also the person that is entertaining the conversation. So it was interesting for me that also it was uncomfortable for me as well. That not like sexualizing basically.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. And also me not being able to say, but you get what I mean? Like asking the right question so that this guy can understand, but what I'm doing is really not a cool thing to do. So I shouldn't feel free to just do it anytime in any way. Yeah, bro. So it made me think, bro, and I was like, I wonder if you gents have experienced that before, and how do you call it out also? Because mind you, this is a person that I've never met before. So I can be like, except driver, and then the next thing we start, and then we start fighting. But also, is that an excuse enough for me not to say anything?
Yeah, my man, there's many ways to call out things now. But at the same time,
but firstly, have you ever been in a situation like that? Not necessarily with a taxi driver, but like just the street and
I've been a culprit myself.
Yeah.
I've turned my head. I've made comments. But at the same time, I think in my own little world as well, there are things which I've deemed acceptable until sometimes I'm called out myself. And much sometimes when you tell other people when you try and reprimand other people, they might become violent, if I can put it, like with words sometimes. But at the same time, I think in times when I've experienced that, it's I don't usually call it out. But amongst my friends, it's easy to call it out. But with strangers, I don't like. I think I choose the route of silence. I don't add fire to the fuel. I don't add fuel to the fire, and I just keep quiet. I don't add anything to it. But where I can, I don't want to have this conversation. Or just keep quiet and mind my business. I know I'm not helping the situation, but I just keep quiet. But in situations where like, but I do it playfully. I don't want to be forceful on people like I'm more holier than thou. So it's, how do I say it sometimes? And I think in my own mind, I have degrees where I've put, like, okay, I can call this out when it comes. But with friends, it's very easy. And you become annoying sometimes to friends when you're always on, oh, when I again, you come again.
Squares,
And I don't change. Unfortunately, amongst friends, I'm not gonna keep quiet if there's a behavior that I see that is like that, you know. But I'm not holy.
Okay, basihlale elokishini.
First things first.
Yes, sihlale elokishini. Disclaimer, that's a big disclaimer. And I'm saying this because I think it township or Ilogishi has a certain way of seeing things and understanding things. I don't know what causes that, but somehow I feel, it's a different setup and a township with other setups. And as a result to what we deem acceptable within a society, as a township, when you're within a setting as a township, becomes totally different from other setup. So it almost becomes normal for us to accept Ntozini. Because of one of the few things I mentioned there, Brother Els, is knowing what people are capable of, election. People are capable of shooting you for no reason. They're capable of killing you. You understand? There was a recent story of Omno Susu Ntogo, imagine that, a township. So people are capable of dangerous stuff. You don't want to step on someone's shoes. So you tread carefully, especially with strangers. What I find interesting though for me is what we really perceive as a problem. And I'm saying this because if I have a comment towards someone, and that person does not hear me, you're the only one that's hearing me. When is this a problem? Is it a problem because she's hearing me, and as a result I care about how she feels? Or she's not hearing me now, why is that a problem? Like we did the same thing with abazali bethu. Because then that's disrespectful.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would say the same thing silently, privately. That wouldn't be a problem necessarily because but I think also again it becomes that question and okay, you have this comment, I don't like it, but does it have to do with me? Is this person speaking about me? Are they even talking to me? So not liking last I don't like to be last as well. And for that's gonna be part of the conversation that they're not supposed to be part of. And as a result, I don't want to be part of that conversation if it does not. But again, is that solving a problem? No. But what is the problem?
I'm like, hey, you know what I struggle with, knowing that this thing is gonna go far. Because if we are not correcting it now, it means how many people are going to come in your taxi if you're a taxi driver and you share these comments and it becomes now a norm. Now you're going to share this conversation or you're going to have this conversation with a 16-year-old. And they might deem it as a Grootman first. So there is a sense of respect because of age. And if ever he speaks this way, then it also enables me as a 16 or a 15-year-old to have the same ideas about how I see.
Does it though?
It does.
But you also have your family to condition you as well. You've got your own brothers to condition you.
True.
Now, is me living my life as an outsider, not even related to you, why should that affect how you tend to be as Ukula? Don't you have people that are supposedly, your brothers supposedly older than you, that you should learn from them? Why should you be learning from me? You don't even know me.
How many things have you learned outside of your family structure?
I don't have a family structure.
Okay.
I never had it.
Okay. You must have close people.
It was different.
I'm sure you must have close people who keep conditioning you. I think they even made the more you hear it, the more you're going to think it's the right thing. And as much as you're going to, obviously there's your own, what do you call this, safe funnel. The funnel, you must first obtain a funnel.
Yeah.
And I'm also trying to obtain a funnel now for some bullshit as I'm having this conversation. And as you're going to be calling me out now I'm gonna, okay, maybe this is not so appropriate. But as a young child, whatever you're constantly being exposed to, eventually it's gonna be part of your settings.
For sure.
And unless you get to a point where you are disturbed, maybe you're disturbed by a book that you have read, and then you start to think differently. Or that one conversation while sitting in a bench somewhere just maybe changes your mind a bit. So not every child has that funnel, and we sometimes grow up to be adults without a funnel to be like, okay, where do I go back and like and look at the reflect, like, okay, maybe what I've taken in today was nonsense. And if I'm gonna go back again, I get that comment from the taxi driver, and my friends also speak that way. There's no way I'm going to find that to be inappropriate when an old man cat calls a 16-year-old. Amen.
So, Els, I just want to speak into the taxi driver,
Yeah, my man.
He's making an example of, and I think maybe my 2 cents is going back to the conversation that we're having about conditioning, because this guy is also did not grow up wanting to do that. Was not born doing that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it goes back for me to that question of conditioning as to what are these factors. Yeah, because we can blame this guy and we can blame each other or try and hold each other accountable as to why do you correct, what do you do in that situation. But there's a condition here. Something is a constant play. Because Uzulu, if I'm hearing him correct, and if I'm hearing you guys correct about you else, you would also almost feel defeated to educate this guy, because you know that this behavior is going to persist somewhere, and you're not going to save anyone because there's another boy who's not in this car, there's another driver who's not in this car, who's going to continue the behavior because the conditions are the same. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So now I think what I'm trying to dissect is
what causes the conditioning?
What are these things, Fit? Because the same behavior persists without your education.
I think, that's a very good question, Fit, because it challenges us to think not only one-sided, but to only look at the problem itself and not addressing the core of the problem, or maybe the reason why this happens. And so sithatha kwi-surface level, and as a result, there's not going to be any solution. And it's true to say that we somehow feel there's not going to be change, even if I do something. That goes to politics as well. You feel, if you ask a young person about voting and whatnot, the first thing that comes to mind is what difference would that make? You can understand? So I think that also plays part. It's already spread to this point where we feel there's not much we can do. And again, it speaks to the point Brother Els was speaking on, with having a sense of focus as a community and how our community is structured. Because the kind of people we have in our community are people that have their own issues, which they feel anything that does not affect them personally and what they came to the city to do. And if it does not affect the fact that I still get a job, that's what I came for at Cape Town. I'm still able to feed my family. I'm still safe in some way, and I still have a home. That to them is enough. It serves the purpose of why I'm here. It does not speak to any other thing that's happening within our society, which makes it difficult for me to address something that I didn't even come here for. I need to let you live your life. I know what I've been taught him now, and that I'm gonna go with. Whatever another person is taught, they're gonna go with that. I think those kind of ideas, they in some way contribute to the conditioning.
Individualism.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have a huge problem with that, bro. The individualism part, because, for instance, we are talking about this whole idea of sexuality now. And we can sit down and say, actually, I've played a part. I was once homophobic. And someone had to come in and teach you something. Someone had to come in and say, you should stop what you're doing, right? So if ever we're going to sit down and fold our hands and be like, well, he's like this, what I can do. You feel me? So a conversation, bro, can go a long way. Whether they change or not, it's like you're not God.
It leaves something in your mind.
At least for you, you have done the part. Because also for me to start having these conversations openly, I had to go through something. I had to get someone to say, actually, whoa, when you are saying this or when you are saying it like this, it might offend or affect someone else. So you need to change how you're wording things. I might not take it now, but also I'm going to reflect. I'm a human being. I'm going to reflect on what you said. Or maybe other two people are going to say the same thing about you. And you are able to sit down and reflect and change your ways. So I really don't want us to be in a position of saying that, this is how the world is. So let's just, whether it changes or not, bro, let's have the conversation with the person and show your 2 cents. And you're not saying this is how it's supposed to happen. You feel me? Because that's another issue.
I hear you, my man.
You are not a person that has the template of life.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell me how to live my life. But if I see something that can affect you negatively, then it's also my place as a person that cares that you become a better person, or you become a person that is open-minded rather about things.
Yeah, you know, I usually sit at home sometimes with a bit of a frustration, like my voice is very small. It's like, and I see myself as an important person. I see myself as a person who can make a change, who can influence. But I feel like at home, like I'm actually washing dishes now. Like, what change is this gonna make in the world? And I think I also have a problem of living in a grandiose, in this very big picture of the world, whereas we're living life in these small moments, in these taxi conversations. And I think part of my opening here was like, I'm here again to try, like, because I want to trust my voice that is important. And I think in those, like, for me to contribute away from the ongoing misogynistic type of thinking and sexualizing women all the time, I have to trust my voice in that taxi and be able to speak, because again, there was no template for me in that taxi. So being able to own my voice again allows for that space for conversation. And I think we have to allow people some grace that that I know is going to be difficult. He's a taxi driver. That's what taxi drivers are known for. I think being able to trust because treat that world, that taxi world as a world on its own, and move away from the global thinking and understand that my little conversation, I think I'm echoing what you were saying, my little conversation and my type of thinking can open a new world for him and open a new world for me as well. So yeah, trust the little worlds that we live in every day. That's the impact we can make, I think.
That's powerful. Yeah, we've got the right person. You know, grandiose. That's the first time you live. Look up. Okay, have a look up.
No,
grandiose.
I know macro. I don't know grandiose.
Yeah, I think that's the thing again. We always want to solve the world's problems.
That's the thing, bro. Because I was thinking now, like with the analogy that you just made, that when you are washing dishes at home, what change are you making in the world? Yeah. And I'm like, that's where it starts, bro. Because you have your brother and you have your son. So if he sees that, daddy can wash dishes, so this is not a gender role type of work thing. It's anyone can do it. And you have changed the world by doing that, because he's going to grow up knowing that if I mess up, I need to clean up. Yeah, understand? So it really, that's the thing. We think major, we think macro, we think big, we think environment. It started home, bro. I remember this lady, I don't know whether it's Mapaseka or what, but she was just speaking on how much alcohol have affected and intentionally affected black communities. She said that men, when they were coming back from work, or when they were compensated rather at work, they will be given alcohol more. And that was, the intention was that get drunk so that you are not able to come back a sane man in your household, and then you do things that are productive. But she puts it very beautifully, bro. And if I do find the clip, definitely we're gonna add it, because I feel like that's how, then again, conditioning. Because now you know that, oh, okay, you see that as a child, your father behaves this way. Oh, this is like, okay, it's a normal thing that, oh, okay, on Fridays, my father is gonna come back drunk from work. And it's like, it's taken as a normal thing by the household, and he's treated normally. And when you grow up, you aspire to do those things, because there's no one that is coming in and giving you a different reality. So, yeah.
Damn, Brother Els, you mentioned something up in Kali, and I'm sorry it feels like we're interviewing you, but you've said such beautiful things, which I think I needed to, be clear for me. Obviously, I'm a very slow learner. So you mentioned something, I think, from your beginning statements.
But I'm
I'm learning even now. I can't look at this sentence without learning. But what I took from you from the beginning sentences was you somehow, which is one of the reasons you honored the invitation, was for a very long time you said you couldn't trust your own voice, right? And as a result, you couldn't speak about these things, and now you feel would be the right time for you to do that. I just want to understand is there a specific reason why you felt your voice was not enough at the time, and what changed now that you think you're able to, at least have your voice out there?
Yeah. You know what a man needs? Needs some fitness, you need to be out in nature. You need to be out, see other people. You need to experience yourself in a different environment. I think it's in phases. I think I'm gonna go through this phase again. I'm still going through it. You're always going to be in a phase where you are out there, you are speaking all the time. And there's a time where you are at home and you are reflecting. And there's a time where you're at home, you're like, what the hell am I doing with my life? And I'm trying to embrace all of those types of phases in my life. But at the same time, I think being out here now allows, like, I'm exposing myself here now. Like, I'm being vulnerable in this moment. And we're having a bit of a conversation like now. I don't want to be, I'm self-correcting because I'm trying to, like, if I'm saying this could be detrimental for my career. If I'm saying this, I might get cancelled. You see, now I'm already living my life through the lens now. What are people gonna say? I think me isolating, but me isolating myself, it came natural. I don't know how it got there, and I don't like it. Like I'm not very productive when I'm in that space. I'm a social creature, and so this is me going into the mountain. This is me hiking now. Like, this is me trying to see something different. I'm putting myself out there. I'm allowing that conditioning again, like that conversation. Allow myself to make mistakes. Don't polish yourself too much. Like, just speak. Allow yourself to be within the space. I'm trying to link it back to your question now.
It is in some way answering my question, but allowing for a follow-up question, and that would be, because you're saying this it's a phase for you, right? And I'm trying to think what influenced the phase from the beginning. Like, for instance, would you say, I think we had the conversation up on one of our first episodes where we really spoke on what the inner Gent is, what the inner Gent podcast is about. Pure podcast. What the hell?
Podcast.
What the hell? Podcast. Yeah, so it really speaks to, because Tina, on one of those first episodes, we realized that most of what we are and what we've been has everything to do what we've been as the younger gents and the younger us. Now I'm trying to, structure this question in that sense to understand that maybe, do you in some way think that how you grew up or that inner boy has any impact into the kind of person you then grew up to be, like, not believing in your own voice? Is it maybe related in some way with how your structure, your family structure, whatever that boy, that inner child of you was like growing up?
Yeah, I grew up playing, bro. I played. I swam, clean water, dirty water. There was not too many restrictions at home. Grew up with my mom, my stepdad. I grew up with uncles. So like my childhood was happy. Like some of my fondest moments is driving my wire car in the rain, like swimming in the dams and all of those other things. And I think my inner child, for me, for it to really come out for me, I have to be active. I have to be around people. I have to be in a social space for me to continuously tap into my inner child. I have to create with my hands, be it carpentry or in the garden or whatever. So again, as I'm growing up, I get other conditioning where I have to provide at home. Like as a man, I have to provide at home. And sometimes I feel like I'm not adequate. And I feel like being outside sometimes it's not worth my time to be outside. It's not worth my time to be spending too much time with friends. And I'd rather be here at home and reflect on my own, or just not do anything here at home until I have something worthy to show to the world, if you hear me. But at the same time, that's a very dangerous mentality which I've put myself into, where like, if I'm going to be showing myself out there, then I must always be presenting something. Where else I am a present myself, just being in other spaces and my voice being heard. Sometimes that could be a present to other people as well. So I'm learning these. I'm thinking about these as I'm speaking with you, Chance, now. So I think that phase, like it's like questions I ask myself now, and also thank you to the University of Instagram. Like what do you? This phase that I'm in, what am I supposed to be doing now? What is this telling me? What must I thinking? What am I supposed to learn from? Like it's a sad moment now. It's a low moment, but what am I supposed to be learning from that? So those videos are helpful. That like the algorithm helps sometimes on those. And then those, like when that phase come, what am I supposed to learn from this? And that isolation now today, it's like, speak again, speak out more, show out yourself, and yeah, man, embrace that you're not perfect. You don't have the template for life. Yeah, I think that's what.
Tell me, bro, are you this conscious also in day-to-day life, where you need to maybe take Uneta to eskolweni, come back when he comes back, and then udlale naye? Like, are you this aware, or maybe your gut like goes down when you're with him? How is the relationship also with your son? And when you speak about your son, what feeling does that spark as well?
Yeah. My son, I have a 4-year-old boy. Sometimes I feel like I don't play with him as much as I used to, and I feel very guilty about that. I have a 14-year-old brother. I feel like I'm not hearing him. I feel like it's very easy for me to, like, whenever he's angry, like whenever we're fighting, he doesn't want to do the dishes, I take his phone. So I'm not very conscious all the time. Like, and I'm conscious now because I'm thinking about it. So I'm cherry picking the best moments for the sake of the conversation. But the consciousness is not always there. But then again, I have a society, I have a community of other fathers in my community, in my space, where I get to have these conversations like I don't play as much with my child, or I play like this with my child. So I want to be conscious about these things, but I'm not always there. And I don't always have the energy, because I get home sometimes with, like, I see those nice videos where these DIY play things with kids. I'm like, I want to make time for this, but sometimes I'm so occupied in my own bubble in the mind. I'm not doing those things. But again, I want to allow myself some grace and say, like, I don't always have to be a happy chappy. That is very exhausting, to be always smiling, always like being accessible. And as a parent, I think when they say it takes a village for me, I live that. There's no way I could raise my child alone without my family, without my baby mama's family as well. Like those moments where like now I'm able to be here today because I have that extended family. So for me, that village is alive, and it allows me to be a parent. It allows me that time to go back and think. It's like me going to my friends sometimes and leaving my girlfriend at home. That allows me time to download some new type of thinking. Because if I'm always facing the child alone, or I'm always facing you as a partner, like I'm only sharing your energy alone, but sometimes you have to go somewhere and refresh. So this is a refresher. Going out to friends is a refresher. Going out for an exercise is a refresher. So I can start thinking now about my relationships, about me as well. Like how do I approach my relationships going forward? I wish I could jot it down, and like I'm not very good at making goals, but I think if I would maybe start making goals, the spontaneity that I have could really be channeled towards being a man of purpose, a man of impact as well. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it there. I think I'm rambling now.
What are your fears, bro, of in raising like your son? What are the fears like when you look at him and looking at the society today? What are the fears that you have, and what are the things that you also like hold dearly? The fact that you are a father to a son.
Yo, I believe para with like I'm the person who have conversations in the taxi, and you hear like just Friday coming back from work, Mama is sitting next to me. Like I was with Uaya, and Mama came in. She was standing, but because she's a bit big, she's a big build. She couldn't go back to the back seat, and she asked I to sit here. I was like, but I was here first. But like I could see now after the text, the taxi sometimes can sing you a lullaby and then you sleep, and she's sleeping. And I'm like, Mama, the taxi. And then she says, yo, and I'm tired. I've been working since I was 15. Like I could see she's close to her 60s, and she's like, Umlungu won't let me rest. Won't let me rest, even though she sees that I'm old now. And that really took me back, bro. When she started talking about her children, like I didn't ask anything after that. When I told her, Mama, don't sleep. The text is gonna pass with you. Like she started speaking about her children. Like, yo, I have a 30-year-old child. I have a 30-year-old son. He's drinking, and I told him to fuck off my house. Like that's how she said it. And I told him to fuck off my house. And now he's fighting my younger child now. And I was like, damn, I was drinking too much at some time. Was this how my mom was feeling? And like I won't lie, like I came back to those phases, and I'm like, was this how I was making my own parent feel? And I'm like, I'm quite a responsible and sensible man. Like even for myself, how did I get there to that point? I was like, damn, you're not even doing anything for your own house at the same time. So for me, like some of my fears now is how do I safeguard against that from my own child? Because even as sensible as I am, I was able to go through a phase. I was like, damn, bro, you are numbing yourself with alcohol and all those other things, and you're not making time for yourself, you're not making time for your family. You're in your room, or you're in that place where you're trying to feel something. So safeguarding against my child derailing in life for me, I think that's one of the things it just scares me, because like nobody wants to say, like, because when you look at most young men, like, or maybe on the street in town, who's homeless and all that, like, damn, so much potential, bro. How did this happen? And I think so many young people are slipping through the hands of society because we don't have that fabric that holds society together. For the fact that, I'm going to go back to this. For the fact that you get an old man commenting on a 16-year-old, like, yo, look at that ass and that type of thinking. It's because there's a very big divide, the generational divide. Young kids are alone, or young people are like, you're too old to understand. And old people are like, you're too young. And I'm like, where are we meeting together? So for a man to continue being misogynistic, being sexist, and also being trying to vie for young girls, because you don't see that child besides them being in your text, you don't see them performing in your community. There's no creative energy that's keeping your community together. There's nothing to relate to that relates you guys together as a community with other young children. You are always amongst your own generation, and you will think about you only think like your own generation. You don't understand the young people, and the young people won't understand the old people. And I think once we merge as the generations, there's power in that, and we have let that die in society. For me, hopefully my child can be part of that generation at all times, so that he has old knowledge and new knowledge. Yeah.
But how do we do that, though? How do we find that balance? How do we, start these conversations? And if we're so corrupt already, or at least our minds are so corrupt already, to that point, how do we start these conversations? And I know this is the best way how you've explained it in terms of the grandiose and those smaller parts and breaking it into smaller parts. Maybe that could work, but how really in a practical sense? Now I'm thinking of maybe someone like me that wants to make that difference and maybe try and find that balance, but with people that are already with the mindset and of the idea that there shouldn't be any balance. And I think another thing that becomes key within that balance, how do we then keep some level of respect and yet keeping that balance between the two?
The generations.
Yes.
Latin countries and Mexican countries, like when I think of those countries, I think everybody, the next house, someone has a guitar or someone has a drum or something. Someone can play an instrument. Like that's how I perceive like the Latin American countries. I feel like they have a very big sense of community. I don't know much about what's happening in the community, but that's where, and even in the movies, how they're portrayed in terms of the respect between the generations and how they sing together, how they eat together as a family and also as a street sometimes. Like those guys have so many festivals. And if I can dance with you, it's easy for me to protect you. If we ate together last festival, we know the festival is going to come again next month. I know this is just one example now, but I think creativity has a very big role because it's transcendental between these generations. And not creativity for the sake of monetization, but creativity is a way to create culture within our communities. And it allows us now to relate. I think it allows us to relate in a different way. For me, I've seen this, like I'm going to make it practical now. So I've worked with an organization called Gugulethu Urban Food Forest Initiative, so supporting communities to start gardens within their own spaces, in their own backyards. And gardens, even in schools, have transcended to a point where they were used as those intergenerational spaces, not consciously trying to do that, but as spaces to bring the community together. Guys will help me if I'm deviating from the conversation, but the spaces that we currently have available, the garden was used as a place to bring in even also creatives. We speak about food, but there's a space for creativity as well. There's a space for exchange. After we have harvested and ate together, we sing for each other in that space. It's a very optimistic type of way of thinking and approach to life, but I choose to believe that for me that can really work, and more of those hubs within the community can be able to bring that type of change. And I think part of me, one of the biggest reasons I found myself in development most of the time, my organization, when I started it was because we were seeing with my co-founder, there was a lot of young people mimicking gangsters. They would fight with machetes, young boys fighting with machetes, machetes, knives and all that, throwing stones and all that. And seeing a group of about 20 to 30 young kids, they've makeshift machetes with cardboards. They are replicating what they are seeing. As much as they go back home, like, Nanams, don't play gangster, don't pretend to be a gangster. So they were mimicking what they were seeing within society, and that was the most fun thing that they were seeing within their own community. And me being part of starting a different conversation, trusting my voice, trusting the little initiative that I was doing. I would say our campaign was successful because we created where they used to fight. That's where we created Saturday sessions, open mics, go-kart competitions, and all of that. And the conversation now changed. Young kids are seeing an alternative to what is conditioning them. Goes back to the conditioning conversation. So that conditioning again, the little societies that we create. I think we have to trust the little that we're doing can be can make a very big difference. So I'm gonna hold it there for now.
Yeah, I think you've answered it, bro. Because I'm sitting here thinking like, if there is an intention, viewers, like it doesn't matter the scale of things, bro. If there is an intention, this is our common goal. This is what we want to achieve. We are definitely gonna do that, and we shouldn't look at how many people we impact. We should look at the fact that we have a goal, we execute. Even if it's one person, it's fine. Because even with the work that we're doing outside of the podcast, we go with an intention of getting like 60 boys a class, 30 boys a class. And then as the year progresses, you see that the numbers are declining. And someone that is conscious of that will be stressed because they want everyone to be saved. But in actual fact, a person that wants to be saved, they're going to be saved. And if there is an intention, if there is a program, like Brother Els is saying, if there is something that must be we meet up ngayo, then there is progress, and there is also like fruits of that we can see, even if it's only 2 or 3 people. But like we can gladly say, or we can proudly say, we have done something there. And whether the community wants to recognize it or not, it's fine. But trust and believe that one person is going to go out to the world and say, actually, I remember this one time, I think it was just after December, and then I think I was coming from Joburg, I'm not sure. And then there's like a timer that is very respected in my hood. And then he saw me and he was like, I haven't seen you like this year since it started. And then I went to him and then he shook my hand. And he said, you know what? We might not be saying anything, but we're watching you. And keep on being the person that you are. And when you're living your life at times, you're not living your life to make someone to feel that way, but you're just like genuinely also being like having certain surroundings that you aspire to be. So if an old man like that can say that to me, how many of young kids or kids in my street that are looking at me and be like, but what does it take to be Lachutman? Then now I need to be associated with him. Then now I need to copy. Like I need to be his protege of some sort. And then there is influence. Then there is an intention. The minute I see that, oh, you are interested in what I'm doing, this is how I do it. This is the reason why I wake up and run. It's mainly because of this. Do you know how old am I? How old are you? 36. No, there's no way, Khotman. There's no way. I'm like, it's mainly because I don't drink, I don't smoke. And these are my habits. These are the things that I do. And not to say people that are doing those things won't be able to do what I'm doing. But then the things that I'm interested in, I have an intention. There is an intent for me to live my life this way because I know I've seen it. So if I didn't know this life before, then I would have been able to sit down and talk about it. But I've seen it from someone, and that's community, that's conditioning. Because someone had to do their own life cycle, and then I was like, okay, I want to be part of that. Yeah, understand? So if you're gonna stress about like impacting the whole world, it's really not gonna happen. We will think that we are failing. But like, it speaks also, bro, on the launch that we did of recent. That was a validation for some of us. Some of us believe this thing from inception. Some only got to believe it that day. Some are still sitting and be like, let's see, maybe. They're not even going to get to 10 episodes. You feel me? But like that's how life is, bro. That's how life is. As long as there is an intention and you know for sure what you're going for, and is it positive for you, is it not? You are trying to teach someone or you're trying to learn something, then we are headed somewhere. You spoke about I was really captured by that conversation of Utetana Lomame Texin, and she was saying that she's still working and she's frustrated about Unyana wake that is living his life this way. I know for a fact that you're a person that was drinking and now you have decided to stop. And let's clap for that. Let's clap for that. Gents, let's clap for that.
What are you clapping for? Because you stopped drinking.
Yeah.
And because he joined you.
So
That's why we're clapping. Because we're partner.
No.
Clap for us as well. We're still drinking. And, I mean.
I have nothing against
Yeah, for sure. Same here.
abuse.
Same
Abuse.
here.
I have beef with abuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We needed that clarity.
Yeah.
That clarity was needed. Very much so, Zulu. The clarity was needed.
You know how this sounds?
The abuse is the problem.
You know how this
It's a
sounds
crutch.
when a black person or when a white person is saying, I'm not racist, I have black friends. That's how this thing sounds like. Because now I have to say, Nama used to drink. Because now the conversation is kind of...
No, so there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. You tasted alcohol. You didn't see any. Maybe you did see a problem for yourself with alcohol, but you're not now saying in a general sense that alcohol is wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I'm saying the disclaimer now becomes important because now we're saying, yes, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. It's it's a personal.
Yeah, it's a
kind
personal
of a
choice.
decision, personal choice. But now the abuse is non-negotiable in any kind, in any form. Abusing in anything that you're abusing becomes a problem, right? So, big ups.
Yeah.
Big ups.
Yeah, man, I want to touch on that, bro, because what was the turning point for you? Maybe I'm making this thing a big thing and it's not, bro, but like...
Back on the conversation with the taxi.
Yeah. But like also personalizing it now, knowing that, because you have shared that with me, that I've stopped. And I don't think you just wake up and stop. Yeah, but also I just want you to take us through that. What made you to stop? And how is it going now? And what is the ultimate goal, bro?
Imnandli, I call Imnandli Bozo 15 minutes.
10
minutes, okay. Imnandli alcohol, no?
Too much.
Too much. For me, when I started even tapping in the reserves, my money reserves, which were reserved for the continuation of building my own space. Once I started disturbing that, and once my mom is not the person, she doesn't talk much. I think I got my calmness, I got it from her. And like that's generally my family, we're very calm people. And for them to call me on the side, like, hey, took
a lot from them.
I think I would have taken a clap or a beating, but not that sitting down and like a child. Like, she's not shouting, but my child, like, how are you going now? You see, you're not even, you've built the flat now, but you're not doing anything else now. Like, for me, it was like, and that was not the first time. And you hear it from your friends. And then your friends said, like, no, my man, we know you. Like, we know that's not you. It's a phase. We've been through that phase as well. But we know you. We're not going to reprimand you or anything, but stop now. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you're being told that, like, I else you on a Tuesday, bro. So it's embarrassing when you sit back at home and you think someone is saying this, like you think your friends have isolated you, but it's you because of the shame. You're at home alone all the time because you are shameful. And you're dealing with real problems. I don't want to lie, for me, I think the battles with custody for the child, for me, a big challenge. making sure that my parents are retired, like retiring my own parents. Like I think that's across races. Everybody wants to retire their own children, their own parents. I think those stresses sometimes are not having an outlet. I found an outlet in that, and the turning point was like, brother else. I don't want to lie. I can't point it. Like this is the turning point, because I've had those conversations multiple times. To say this was the turning point, that was not the turning point. But yeah. So I'm just gonna reflect a bit on how I stopped weed. I told myself I'm not gonna smoke before 9. Before 9 a.m. I'm not gonna smoke after 9 p.m. So those small boundaries, not putting a very big boundary all at once. So those small boundaries, like okay, cut it off this Friday. You can do it tomorrow, but cut it off this Friday. I think those small steps. Yeah, it was like I'm not gonna drink this whole week. No, I think it was like don't do it before 12. I know you want to do it, but don't do it before this time. Cut it off at that time. So those small steps for me, I think they started building up. And space for running came up now. It's like, oh damn, when last did I go running? Space to sit with friends and have conversations about how I felt about my last experience started coming up. Space to make movies came up. Like, oh damn, I love this. So that numbness now, I filled it with something different. It's like I started doing the things that I love. Started doing the things that made me curious. So I think feeling that with those things made a very big difference. Like not just stop. Yeah. What? Playing again. Yeah, I started playing again. Yeah, and I starved. Yeah, and I starved the need to numb. Yeah.
And I starved the need to numb.
Bro, that is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. I think, Makeba, to wrap it up, yo, man, it has been it has been a mouthful. It's been for me, it's been a huge learning curve. I think that there's a lot we need to consider. I think that's why we have these conversations. But we know professionals, we're not perfect people. We don't know anything really. But that's why we have conversations, so that we learn from one another, and maybe from people at home as well, just to share comments and learn a few things. Want to take you and learn a few things, because we still want to learn. But what I'm also taking up from the conversation is, one, we started off with trying to understand why we behave in a certain way, why we accept some people and some we don't, right? And I think one of the things we came to was the idea that maybe we conditioned, maybe the society we grow up in conditions how we think and how we do things, right? And with that in mind, now the big question was, how do we deal with the conditioning? If we know that this is a condition and what conditioned us to be like that, now what can we do, right? Because now the big question is, now understanding that I'm being conditioned and not doing anything about it, is it do anything? Is it changing anything? And I think part of our conversations and with the questions also answered that question in saying, introducing another big word, grandiose. Grandiose. Because we often look at things in when we think of solution, we think of it in a lens of the grandiose world. And maybe if we could start having conversations about, maybe how about starting in your own kitchen? Maybe just starting small. Doing something intentionally, as you said, Zulu. Maybe with a bit of intention, right? And from there, we can start to, see the world in a different light. Maybe not in a better light. We don't know at this point. We're trying to see what could, and better society. But maybe we try to see it on a different lens and doing something and doing that intentionally and with the idea of maybe eventually influencing the world in the grandiose world. But just starting small and being intentional about doing that. You wanted to ask something, sir?
No, thank you, sir. I think else just to also, this is my last question.
My man.
Because I've been listening to you and you sound very aware of yourself. And I use this word intentionally. You are very aware of your environment. and the things that affect your condition. And I know that for a regular layman on the streets, that is not something that one can achieve. How does one get there?
How does one get
the awareness? Like what helped you become aware, one, of yourself?
I'm gonna say the biggest contributor is my school. The biggest contributor to my awareness was my school. We had our LO class was like this, like the whole time. Every day, our LO class, we sat in a circle. We controlled the LO class, but we were aware of the curriculum and everything else. So if we talk about HIV and AIDS, that's going to be part of the curriculum. That's going to be part of our conversation. Literally, we do not have books for our LO class. So that allowed me to accept criticism, to take reflection, the code of conduct. So the LIP Science and Med School, so that's where I went. So I think that code of conduct, it sticks in a way. And that space to know that always have conversations, make time to reflect, I think for me played a very big role.
Yeah. Wow, bro. Brother Els, for me, this was, I think, one of the best episodes, full of wisdom, bro. And I like that when you tap into your life experiences, you are very persistent with the word that you're still discovering things. You're still discovering yourself. Also, you're not afraid to make mistakes. And that's one thing, because also when these lights are on, you want to say the right things. You don't want to butcher English. You don't want to, you feel me? And with that, there is a lot of limitations. So, yeah, with that said, bro, I think this was one of the best episodes ever. And yeah, man, I hope with everything that you're going on with in your life, it sees the light and the people that you want to touch and how far also you want to take this journey that you're on. And I don't know if there's anything, bro, but if also there's anything that you're busy with that you would like to share with the people, and maybe it also involves the community, you can just let us know.
Yeah, I think I want to say this now. There's so many people doing great things out there. And they are not necessarily calling themselves activists or change makers. I'm just going to make a quick example, because I love examples. I know of someone who started a book club because of a guy who was always next to the tavern, sitting in the same chair, reading a book. And they respected that person enough to ask them what they were reading. I think, if I'm paraphrasing, but to a point, like, they started their own book club because of a person who was always next to a tavern, which is in the township. Every 10 seconds, there's a tavern. So I think respect for people is key to this. And one practical thing I can say is, because there are a lot of people who are doing change maker activist work without necessarily doing that, it's important to understand that you are also living part of a system. It's going to be very important that we immerse ourselves in information and understand what are the channels that are there for us to support the initiatives that we're doing. Because it's important that we organize. Because there are channels that are there for us when it comes to city channels, local government. Before we even look at national government, we even look at the president. To always learn, let's make it a habit to go into our city's website to learn, because we're doing work in HIV and AIDS, trying to curb gender-based violence, trying to curb whatever we're trying to curb. But learn what is in your city's mandate, because and start doing the little that you're doing, because we're missing out on a lot of great work. Because why am I saying this? We need to localize the work that we're doing. If you're into fitness, you need to localize that so that more kids can see that, so that more people can copy you. And there are channels to support people. I know we're gonna cry corruption, but the more of us are doing this work, we can inspire even stagnant minds who are leaders to actually come and do something within the community. So let the good overwhelm the evil within our community. You know.
Oh, Tata.
Quotes on quotes.
In a Gent speak truth. Real pain, real truth. Stand strong, stay